how do you do? My name is John Monroe. I'm a cartoonist. These are my cartoons. And that's where I work, the Manhattanite magazine.
Get out of the street, you dummy! What are you trying to do, get killed?
Every Monday morning, all the Manhattanites, writers, artists, photographers, etc., gather in the office of Hamilton Greeley. He's our editor, and he considers tardiness a mark of disrespect. The truth is, those of us who work for him do respect him. Not because he's the boss, but for many other good and sufficient reasons. Such as car payments, second mortgages, overdue dental bills. Well, I expect you've got troubles of your own. Anyway, this is my world. Welcome to it.
You look great since you took off all that weight.
I thought it was kind of a cute throwaway.
You look great since you took off all that weight. Which hippopotamus is talking? I said, which hippopotamus is talking?
I don't know. What difference does it make?
It makes a lot of difference. I want to know which one is making the joke.
Well, they're both exactly the same. Could be either one of them.
Well, I want to know which one. Is that an unreasonable request?
No, it's not unreasonable. This one. This is the hippopotamus that's talking.
This one hasn't got its mouth open.
Okay. That one.
That one doesn't have its mouth open either.
One of them is a ventriloquist.
I suppose I'm being arbitrary because I pay attention to detail.
You're the editor, Hamilton. Ours is not the reason why.
Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Monroe, about your high and mighty cartoons. Your mouths are never open.
Oh, you're being ridiculous.
Oh, now I'm being ridiculous, huh? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I didn't say that.
If I had a nickel for every time you come up here with a cartoon that's talking with his mouth closed, I'd be a rich man.
Well, I wouldn't argue the point.
Big deal. So you went to college and I come up the hard way.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
It's got a lot to do with it. I run this magazine, and if I decide not to print a cartoon that's talking with its mouth closed in this magazine, then that cartoon don't get printed in this magazine. And that's the end of it. And you know why?
No, why?
Because I decided that cartoons that talk with their mouths closed in this magazine don't get printed no more.
And you're rejecting this cartoon?
That's right.
And that's it?
That's it.
All right, then that's it.
What do you mean, that's it?
I quit.
You must be kidding.
On the contrary.
Okay, Mr. Stubborn. If you want to quit rather than tell me which hippopotamus I'm supposed to pay attention to...
I wouldn't tell you which hippopotamus was talking if I knew. And let me tell you something else. This is not the first time he's acted that way. I should have quit years ago. Wait till Ellen hears about this. I'll tell her it was a question of principle. Of course, women don't understand anything about principle. She'll probably carry on and cry and beg me to reconsider. To think of the security of my family, my wife and my little girl. And you know me. Old softy, huh? I'll probably compromise my principle and call Greeley and go back. Well, I guess that's the way it is. Anyway, that's the way it is. Now, I realize it's going to be difficult at first. Austerity and making do and all that, but Well, every man must make a choice at some time in his life, and he must make that decision alone. However, it may be a blessing in disguise. I could do the book.
Do you want to do a book?
I've wanted to do a book for years, ever since I was a kid.
I know the feeling. What kind of a book do you want to write?
Well, what's that got to do with it? That's not important.
Why not?
Because wanting to do it is what's important. What it's about, that comes later.
John, I know how strongly you feel
Ellen,
about...
please. Now, you know what an old softy I am when it comes to giving you what you want, huh? Now, if you're going to cry and ask me to talk to Hamilton Greeley about getting my job back because I should consider the security of my family, my wife, and my daughter, if you're going to ask me that, well, you know what I'll say.
Oh, John, I'm a wife and a mother, and naturally I think about our home and our little girl.
I know.
But I would never do that to you, John. I would never expect you to beg for your job back. Never. You go ahead and you write your book.
Should I?
Absolutely. And whatever must be done, we'll do.
Then you really don't want me to try to get my job back?
I wouldn't hear of it.
The trouble with women is when you get to know them and trust them, you realize you can never get to know them and you can't trust them. Now, this book says that it's perfectly all right to worry, so long as you worry positively. You mustn't worry about things you don't know anything about at all. The thing to do is imagine that you're having a conversation, I suppose, with an expert and ask his opinion. Trouble is, I don't know any experts. On the subject of how to make money when you're trying to think of a book to write. Certainly wouldn't be another writer. Of course, there's always gambling. That's chancy. Of course, there's always the stock market. If I knew anything about the stock market. Or if I knew anyone who knew anything about the stock market. Actually, that's not the place for a fellow like me. Afraid I'm not tycoon material. I'd feel kind of silly shaking my fist at the stock exchange and saying, all right, Wall Street, I'm here to make basic expenses.
Mr. Morgan Vanderbilt is selling steel as fast as he
I
can.
don't care what Vanderbilt does. I tell you, if steel collapses, this country's on the way out.
Sales are down another point.
Oh,
The Dow is down another 4 points.
Buy anything you can lay your hands on.
Why can't we sell off the oil? Not futures and wheat.
No, don't sell. Buy. Buy. If I have to hold this country up with my bare hands, I'll hold it up with my bare hands.
The mutual funds are selling everything they're pulling out.
Morgan, we can't
stretch our reserves any
Stretch them out. Buy anything, everything you can lay your hands on. You buy oil.
Cowie.
Oils and rails. And you buy weight and carts and futures. Oh, and that's the potatoes. And you buy milk.
How much?
2 quarts. Let's see if you can get me a nice fresh banana with you right away. Buy.
Oh, I can hear all this down our head.
Buy $4,000. Yes, he's already got that.
Mr. Morgan.
That's right.
United Coal is up 5 points. Is a reaction starting, sir?
Good, buy 10,000 shares.
Oils are recovering, sir.
I told you they would, and I buy. Please don't bother me. What do you want, huh? What is it?
Perhaps you might have a moment to let me ask you a few questions.
Moment, sir.
It's the Commodore.
Oh, yes. Hello, Cornelius. What is it?
I was wondering, sir. If possibly you could give me a tip on something fairly substantial.
Temporary recovery, you say? Sheer nonsense, you. You sly old dog. He's trying to tell me. Oh, and good luck to you, too, Corny. The thing is, the tip on what? What's the consolidated averages there?
863.5.
0.3, huh? Tip on what?
Anything at all, sir. I just need to make enough to meet my nut for the next few months.
Huh? Are you mad, son? Are you really? You commit. I'm trying to support the entire financial structure of the Republic on my own. So you come in here sniveling about getting a tip and about meeting some nuts? And I haven't time. Please, go, don't. But just a... Just a second. All right. All right. Let's see. Buy yourself some Cliven fibers. You'll be able to retire in a month.
Cliven fibers.
Just my way of saying thanks for the milk.
So much, sir. I certainly do appreciate that.
Mention it. And Sonny, the next time you show up for work in your pajamas, you're fired.
Yeah, well, Mr. Monroe, fibers in general are in a state of flux, so you've got to look at any fibrous investment with flux in mind.
Oh, yes. I'm sure that goes without saying.
Yeah, well, we are on top of the Cliven picture. They're a very old firm. We feel that their first debenture instituted a bullish trend, which naturally led to a breakout. There's going to be a certain amount of bottom testing in the second quarter, and then there's going to be a reaction.
I'm impressed with your analysis of the situation. Buy me 300 shares. Cliven Fibers opened at 25, closed at 21. That figures. There's no advice on what to imagine when your imaginary expert gives you lousy advice.
John? Aren't you asleep?
I've been asleep for hours.
But you have a book.
Some people walk in their sleep, I read.
Don't worry, John. You'll work it out. I have complete faith in you.
Huh? Faith like that sent the Titanic to the bottom of the ocean.
Look, Sam, this magazine has handled your advertising for years, and with great results. Nothing has changed. We're the same, you're the same. What reason could you have for canceling out on me now?
Just because of what you said. The big boys in the shop are saying that Manhattanite is old hat. My hands are tied. I don't make the decisions.
Look, I know you got a lot to say about who buys the ad space and where.
Who's John Monroe?
The cartoonist, why?
They're good.
You think so?
Don't you?
Well, would I have them in my office?
Any more like this?
Loaded. Monroe works for Manhattanite exclusive.
I love the idea of there being two sexes, don't you? They're good. Contemporary, satirical. You handle him exclusively?
Oh, 100%.
Clive and Fibers, 16 and 1/8. 16 and 1/8.
Mr. Morgan, National Zinc is down 13.
I can't understand it.
Mr. Morgan, about Clive and Fibers.
Clive what?
Fibers, you remember you told me to buy it.
And I'll add this so many.
Bills are down 12.
It's all going wrong. You know, it's all wrong. I know. Must be the unions, huh? Well, there's the unions. Or management. Management, kid. It's got to be the unions.
But Clive and Fibers went down 4 points today.
You don't have a thing to worry about. Just a temporary setback. They'll recover, don't you worry. I just found out they've developed a new fabric for the Pullman Company. It'll make $1 million.
The Pullman Company?
They got a deal to cover the seat of every railroad car in America.
Well, you could do that with one roll of paper towels.
What's paper towels?
Mr. Morgan, the railroads have been put out of the passenger business by the airplane.
What's the airplane?
What do you mean, what's the airplane? It's the thing with people in it that flies.
Sure, son. I've heard that kind of crazy talk myself. But don't you think if the good Lord had intended for man to fly, I would have been the first to know?
Well, if I sell everything we can eat, but we'll have no place to live.
John, how long can we manage on what we've got left?
Well, see for yourself. Hey, you're awake.
Yes.
Then you heard.
Yes.
Well, why aren't you screaming? It seems to me you should be screaming.
Well, I'm very disappointed, John, but I'm not screaming.
I'm sorry.
I am too, but you meant well. I guess this means you'll have to get your book done pretty fast, huh?
Book?
Yeah. How's it coming?
Oh, well, since we're being so brutally frank about everything else, I might as well tell you that the book consists of, Once Upon a Time.
3 days and you've written Once Upon a Time?
Now you'll scream, huh?
No. No screaming. You've obviously been very concerned about this Clive and Fibers thing, and you'll be able to concentrate on your book now. Oh, I'll get you some milk.
Ellen, if someone takes the milk bottle out of your hand, don't you listen to him.
Hamilton, what a nice surprise.
Helen, you look beautiful. I just happened to be in Connecticut, so I thought I would drop in.
I'm glad you did.
Is John around?
Yes, coincidentally, he happens to be in Connecticut, too.
What's he doing?
He's upstairs writing a book.
No kidding.
No kidding.
The trouble is, I'm inhibited by the mechanical nature of the typewriter. It restricts my freedom.
You think it'll be all right if I go up there?
I think so. He's much more rational about you today.
I'm rationalizing. It's not my fault. It's not the typewriter's fault. You know whose fault it is? Who was it criticized my hippopotamuses? Picky Greeley. He's gonna get his one of these days. When he finds out how much he needs me, he'll come to me on his knees. And I'll know just how to handle him, too. He'll beg me to take my job back. He'll say,
Hello, John.
May I come in?
and I'll say, you may. On your knees.
Now, look, John, you know this whole thing was a mistake. I was wrong about the hippopotamuses. You can have your job back.
On your knees, or get out of my presence.
Okay, take it easy. Take it easy.
All right. Get on with it.
This is ridiculous.
Let me hear it and put a lot of heart in it.
I was wrong about the hippopotamuses. You can have your job back.
Again. And more heart.
Please, John. Please. Take your job back. What do I know about hippopotamuses anyway?
When my imagination is really working, it is truly a joy.
Please come back to us. The Manhattanite needs you. You can have your job.
Yeah, well, just...
What do you want?
I come to apologize to you. I heard you took a bath in Clive and Fibers.
You certainly heard correctly.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to make it all up to you. I'll use your phone.
Why don't you go to the kitchen and use the one in your office?
No, let's go on. The office, the railroads, the oil wells, banks, stocks, and bonds. Works. Gone. All gone.
Oh, I'm really sorry, J.P.
Yeah. Thanks, honey. Excuse me for a minute.
Look, my wife will be back any minute.
Oh.
There's a perfectly good phone booth a few miles down the road.
Oh, thanks a lot. Fine. You wouldn't have any loose change on you, would you?
I think so. Here. Here's a dime.
Thank you. Could you make it 15 cents? My bookie lives in the Bronx.
You are going to bet on a horse?
Yes, sir, Ray Bob. And the fifth at higher lead. Banker's boy. Gonna get it all back, Sonny. Every red cent. You just watch my smoke. Oh, a safe place.
It's men like that made America great.